a bunch of minutes against the Wizards on Saturday, which we know now has been a loss. They play the Lakers on Wednesday. Any conspiracy theories as to this was their rest?
I mean, I just think they were gassed, and it had to do with the Washington loss, the Lakers' tough game they had against the Lakers with Bron, Luka, Rui. Like, they had a bunch of guys sitting out, and they were still very much in a tough game. So I think Mike Malone looked at them and said, you know what, these guys need a break. And if we want to keep them fresh before playoffs, they're in a good spot seeding-wise. They can stay in a good spot. But I don't think it's just for this one particular game against the Lakers. They had lost to the Lakers with Bron and Luka, and it didn't look good the times that they played against them. So they want to see if they end up matching up with them in the playoffs. I'm sure they want to see what they look like at full health and full strength. But I don't think they're preparing for just one game. I think they're seeing the bigger picture and saying, you know, we got to make sure we pace these guys to make sure they're fresh when the playoffs happen.
What do you think, Leo?
No, I agree with Danny. I agree with Danny. Like, everybody is playing cat and mouse right now, finding breaks. Like, and this is the time of year. Like, we're 3 weeks out from this playoff run. Everybody is trying to figure out their best route, best position they could put themselves in going into it. You know, so a lot of teams are going to find games here or there. They're going to look at matchups that they may look at in the playoffs that they want to see their team's full strength, like Danny just mentioned. And so everybody is starting to kind of bunker down, get into playoff mode, and figure out what works best for them. And again, it's important for all of these guys to be fresh, rejuvenated going into it. You don't want to go into the postseason limping into it because of some of these individual games that may not mean a lot as far as seeding or anything goes. So you don't want to put those guys at risk, and so that's what you're looking at.
Especially in the West, because I feel like it's so balanced. I don't think it really matters where you seed.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it,
unless
they're
you're
pretty
trying to avoid the number one seed.
And there's no easy route, so it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you are trying to avoid LA. It is kind of jumbled up, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit of a mess there. Some people think that the Stars only come back really when they play the Lakers. And Lou, you love conspiracies. Do you believe in that one?
I don't believe in that one, but if we're gonna throw gas on it, you know, this is the Showtime Lakers. It's a few places that players really enjoy playing. Madison Square Garden is going to be one of them. Crypto, formerly known as the Staples Center, is gonna be another one. Boston is another one. Like, these are legacy places. These are places that guys know that they're going to get the most out of the fan base. It's going to be a great environment, great atmosphere to play basketball. And who doesn't want to compete against a LeBron James or a Luka Doncic under those bright lights? And so a lot of guys just know destination places to play on the road.
I think when people say that, they're speaking of Jamal Murray and how he emerges in the playoffs from Urkel to Stephon.
Steve Stephon.
In the playoffs. So he just, and it's usually against the Lakers. So he has his, better moments against the Lakers in the playoffs. So I like to see, and I think it's a thing.
I like it.
For him and Jokic have really good series and really good games against the Lakers in the playoffs. It may not happen this year during the regular season, but in the past, and we're hoping to see anyway. I want to see Jamal Murray get back to his normal self consistently. He's had some ups and downs this year, but he's been great overall. But just not what people expect of him. But in the playoffs against the Lakers, he's definitely Stephon.
He's been awakened. Pacers, Luka back in Dallas. Any ideas? What's planned? What's that going to feel like?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated games since LeBron James went back to Cleveland for the first time. Obviously, the circumstances are different. It wasn't Luka's choice to leave. He ended up getting traded in the middle of the night, but I think the Mavericks are going to have something special planned for him. I mean, when a guy has given you everything of his career for the last almost 7 years, and he took you to the NBA Finals, I think you got to have something more planned for him than just a tribute video that every star player typically gets. I think they got to roll out the red carpet for him, if you will.
Now.
Move it. By the way, Mike, I've been a part of some weird seasons with some teams before. How are you doing? Because I know you start the season, everyone's excited and happy, and then craziness goes. Are you good? How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm doing the best I can. It's crazy. I got here back in April before they went on their playoff run.
Perfect.
And I was covering the Detroit Pistons last season. And, they didn't have much success last year. They went through that 28-game losing streak. So at this point, I'm used to covering chaos.
Dang, Mike, that's a crazy turn. From the Dallas Morning News, we appreciate the time and the suit. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate you.
Shams officially yesterday done for the season. Wow, I can't believe I'm even going to ask this, Lou. How are we grading his first year in Philadelphia? This seems unfair.
Yeah, it was a tough run. It was a tough run for PG. I got to give it an F. You know, you asked the question.
I thought at least give like a D.
No, it's an F because again we started this year with championship aspirations for this group, and Paul George was that piece that they brought in to get them to that point, to get them over that hump. And you know, with injuries, with everything that was going on collectively, I think it affected the way that he played and the way that he went about business, and he just didn't have his best run. Some career lows for him going in this season. Just not a great year. The positive about it is now he understands what Philadelphia
is like.
Is about.
Yeah.
He understands what it's about. So I look forward to him getting back healthy, getting himself back in the position to be respected as the Paul George that we've grown accustomed to seeing play on the basketball floor. And I think he'll have a great season next year once he gets healthy, gets 100% back in the track.
For sure. As a unit, collectively, I say it's an F. But individually, when he played, I wouldn't give him an F, like individually. I think he had moments where he looked, I mean, he didn't look like the Paul George we've seen before, but he didn't look bad, you know? So he's dealing with knee issues. I give him a D plus C minus as an individual. But I mean, people are expecting B plus at least Paul George, you know? But he's supposed to be alongside Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. You don't have those guys there. It's harder for him to perform. Like, he wasn't expected to be the ISO guy or the number one main option.
That's not what he came here for.
He came in to be the third option and be like, all right, I'm going to spot up, shoot.
He came in to get him over the hump.
That's it. Not to be the number one option. So having to do that when you're not expected to do that individually, I know it's an adjustment. So for him individually, I give him like a D plus C minus. But overall as a group, it's an F because they weren't able to just get the group together healthy for a stretch of even 10 to 15
Do you
games.
think we will see them, the three of them, play together?
I hope so. I think we will early in the season next year.
And then maybe not.
Unless
I think they get one more crack at it.
Yeah, I think
a whole season, or next year's trade deadline is going to be something.
If they don't get it right, there will be something.
Okay.
But I think if they have a lot of time from now to the beginning of next season where Joel can get right, PG can get right, and Tyrese is young, all those other things. You got Quentin Grimes, who's been balling.
Well, we'll get to that.
If you got that group and Jared McCain getting back healthy, like, you have a really good group. And if you can keep them healthy and start the season, I think you have a good first third of the season.
That's all we want.
And then they'll keep that group rolling, and they're competitive. With that group, you can win a lot of playoff series, and you can battle against the Knicks. You can battle against Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston. Like, you can give them a run. So when you have a healthy Joel,
that, Danny. We keep saying that.
We just want to see it. We're all hopeful here.
Can we talk about Danny Grimes, Lou? Or Danny Grimes. I just made up a person. Quentin Grimes. 46 last night against the Rockets.
Ballin'.
And he was obviously, this was a trade deadline moment. This is how he ended up in Philly in the first place.
Balling.
What? Is that who he is, or just where he is?
You know what? Before he got to Philly, he was trending up. You know, he had a lot of bright spots in Dallas, before this, and now he's getting to Philadelphia. So we can say that it's about having an opportunity to play a bunch of minutes and playing with house money. No, like, he was balling in another uniform. I think this is a young guy that's turning the corner, that's figured out the way that he needs to play for him to have a chance to make a lot of money in this league and become a household name. And he's found his lane, playing really great basketball. I wish some of these turned into wins where he can really feel that confidence.
Yeah, good about himself.
Feel good about yourself, knowing that you're impacting winning. But he's doing nothing short of what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing his job and playing at a high clip. So putting him with Jared McCain next year, and hopefully this big three, once those guys get healthy, you got a pretty good core in Philadelphia that you can be excited about going into the next season.
Nah, he's hooping, and I think it's a lot of just change of atmosphere. Because when he was in New York, I know a lot of these teams that traded him wish they had him. And my understanding is Dallas traded him because they couldn't keep him or they couldn't pay him. I don't know if Philly will be able to.
Are they paying?
I don't know if Philly will be able to pay him either, because he's gonna demand a good amount of money when he's a free agent. So, but said in New York he was young. The lights are a little different there, but he was trending upward in Dallas, and he's getting more opportunity in Philly. But this version of Quentin Grimes, I'm sure Dallas and New York would really love they had him, because they could use him in those cities. But he's looking really good right now, and it's a number of things that are allowing him to play freely.
All right. So the tournament, obviously, well, we get a couple games tonight, but it's kicking